My brother and his girlfriend announced at brunch that they'd be permanently moving into my brand new luxury home and demanded the primary bedroom, but within 24 hours he live-streamed my private finances to thousands, turning my savings, plans, and boundaries into content for his channel. Chill out. I expect the primary bedroom redone before we settle into your new upscale home, she declared during Sunday brunch. My brother grinned. It's reasonable. We'll be staying there permanently. Everyone chuckled. 24 hours afterward, my mom rang me frantically. Oh my God, Max. What's he broadcasting on stream? My name's Max. I'm 32, eldest child, go-to troubleshooter, the guy who maintains a spreadsheet for everything from rental slips to bulb specifications. I handle project coordination, which basically means I remind people we agreed on Wednesday until Wednesday arrives. I prepare meals, settle bills punctually, and maintain a folder on my computer titled documents I will never forward to relatives. I discovered that lesson through experience. My family operates loudly. My mom raised us following the separation. She's kind, worried, and maintains a container of celebration candles for emergencies. My younger brother Brandon represents the favored child. He operates a YouTube channel he describes as a brand. His partner, Leia, claims she's his representative, which appears to involve recording him from the sofa while instructing him to amplify excitement. They possess charisma in that smooth manner where strangers offer them opportunities. I accumulated savings for 8 years through evening courses. Eventually, the savings container on my kitchen counter bore a silly sticker, home, because writing it made it tangible. In March, my bid on a new construction was accepted. The agent mentioned luxury since there's a center island and the storage spaces are practically their own postal zones. I informed perhaps 3 individuals. My mom wept. She sobbed harder when I mentioned, I'll remain nearby. I'm not relocating to Mars. Then she informed Brandon. Naturally she did. She desired us all to stay connected. We're a unit, she states. Like units don't have substitutes. The initial warning came during Sunday brunch at a venue that bills additionally for syrup. Mom included everyone. Casually, she mentioned. It wasn't casual. Yela appeared wearing sunglasses as if photographers might be lurking behind the cocktail display. Brandon requested 3 main dishes for footage. I hadn't intended to share any news. I intended to consume food and endure. Mom couldn't contain herself. Max secured the house, she announced, gripping my wrist like she required stability. People applauded. Yela reclined in her seat, smug expression prepared. Chill out, she declared, tapping her glass with her utensil. I expect the primary bedroom redone before we settle into your new upscale home. She didn't grin to indicate it was humor. She stated it like a demand at a spa. Brandon beamed like he was presenting me a favor. It's reasonable. We'll be staying there permanently. Silverware clinked. Someone laughed excessively. Mom produced that anxious giggle that always signals please avoid arguing publicly. My relative commented, oh, wealthy, wealthy. Into her beverage, I gazed at my dish and felt my expression do the thing it does when I'm preparing to establish a limit and everyone's about to act like they missed it. I'm not intending to have housemates, I stated. Softly, firmly. Yela rolled her eyes behind her lenses. We're relatives, she said like that settles everything. Brandon tapped his device already composing a caption mentally. My brother's home walkthrough. Relocating debt. He winked at me. Content. Brother. Victory. I changed to water. I observed the bubbles rise in the glass. I reminded myself I could depart whenever. Mom massaged my arm. We'll discuss, she murmured, which typically means you'll fund. Everyone chuckled again like it was all charming. 24 hours afterward, my mom rang me frantically. Oh my God, Max. What's he broadcasting on stream? Who? I asked though I understood. Brandon. She said he's reading figures. He's stating your loan total and something regarding spreadsheets. He's streaming. People are responding. I accessed the application. There he was. My brother in a sweatshirt on a live broadcast holding up a printout that appeared familiar. My financial plan, the one marked home. The ring illumination made him shine like a confession booth minister. This represents what he believes he can manage, he informed the audience, chuckling. Examine this entry. Furnishings $0 temporarily. Brother, what's this? The sadness. Ela cackled from off-screen. The responses multiplied. My stomach sank. The document, the one I displayed to Mom to clarify interest percentages. The one I had abandoned on her coffee table because she was crying joyfully and said, leave it so I can review again. I silenced the stream and stared at the wall. I could hear myself breathing in the reflection of the darkened television. I didn't act that evening. I didn't respond to messages. I didn't rush to repair it. I sat in the silence and measured the gap between my previous guidelines and the ones I would require. If you're going to comprehend why a brunch remark and a live broadcast functioned like a trapdoor beneath my feet, You need the background information. The one labeled behaviors, not theatrics. Mom had me at 21. Dad departed when Brandon began nursery school. I was the assistant child, the one who heated dinner while Mom completed a shift. I learned to be adaptable. Adaptable becomes invisible if you don't monitor it, and I didn't monitor it. Brandon learned to be appealing. At 12, he persuaded a neighbor to purchase him a skateboard for a project. At 15, he convinced Mom to co-sign for equipment for education. When she couldn't, he approached me. "It'll earn itself back," he said, hands open like evidence. I purchased the less expensive one and told him to repay me $20 weekly. He repaid me twice. He labeled me fixated on money. He recorded a video titled "Living with a Savings Warrior." He removed it when I requested. He restored it when his views declined. Minor incidents accumulate. At 19, I worked 2 positions and attended evening classes to complete a certification. Brandon lost a collaboration with someone who later compromised his account. He contacted me weeping. "Everything's lost," he said. I assisted him in writing emails to support, sat with him on hold, recovered it. He thanked me by sharing a story. Shout out to my tech brother. It tagged a random profile. He said he was keeping me anonymous. Mom was always the mediator and the amplifier. Relatives assist relatives. She'd say with watery eyes because that's what she wanted to believe. It translated into Max manages it. When Brandon's rent was overdue, she contacted me at 11:47 p.m. "Can you just I'll reimburse you?" She repaid me $50 once with a supermarket gift certificate. Numbers are how I was raised by disorder. They are peaceful to me. If I can quantify it, I can control it. So, yes, I maintain a record. If you roll your eyes at that, you have never witnessed a disconnection notice slip under a door like a knife. 2 years ago, Mom's apartment flooded. Brandon asked if they could stay temporarily. I agreed. They brought 6 suitcases, 2 ring lights, a pet, and an air fryer. Days became weeks. Leia claimed the bedroom. They filmed at midnight. The pet destroyed my Ethernet cable. When I requested $300 toward utilities, Brandon said, "You're petty if you need money from relatives." Ela called me landlord. They departed after 53 days. I know the figure, because it's in the record. Try laughing at a number you have to examine every evening. Later, when Mom's vehicle needed repairs, I paid $680. I didn't make a speech. I just forwarded the receipt. Brandon responded, "Real brothers don't keep receipts." I didn't respond because I was trying to be a real brother. That's how you keep getting exploited. By attempting to earn a title someone already decided you don't deserve. When I started examining houses, I didn't inform anyone. I calculated numbers like it was a pastime. I attended open houses alone and took photographs like a stalker. In December, I told Mom. She cried and said, "You accomplished this." She held my face and whispered, "You don't owe anyone anything." Then she messaged Brandon because that's automatic response. Brandon's reaction content. He wanted to film the search. I said, "No," he called me gatekeeping. Yela sent me Pinterest boards of neutral masculine primary suites. She said she loved a do not disturb sign for our room. I said, "There is no hour." She sent a laughing emoji and said, "Max is bashful." At brunch, when she claimed the primary bedroom, I felt every minor thing I'd suppressed stack itself into a backbone. I thought it would end there. I thought a boundary spoken publicly would resonate. It didn't. The live stream made it worse. Brandon wasn't just reading my figures. He was reading my life aloud for likes and flame emojis. He budgeted exactly $1,200 for family assistance, he said, and made a face at the camera. Yela gasped like a game show participant. "Why limit it, though?" She said, "That's like cruel." He circled closing costs with a marker and said, "He thinks this is essential. I'll just contact the agent and say I'm family." The chat flooded with suggestions. Make a prank where you move in without permission. We need a 24/7 house camera. Unbox his refrigerator. I wasn't embarrassed. I was frozen. That's the best description. The kind of frozen where your fingers don't function and you can't tell if you're grasping something. Mom called. I told him to remove it. She said he blocked me from the stream. Okay. I said, "What are you going to do?" She asked the old code for how will you stop the world from being chaotic again? Think. I said sleep. I slept poorly. When I awakened, my phone had 27 notifications. 3 were supportive. 24 were strangers telling me to share because he's your brother. 1 was Leia. Chill out. You're making people uncomfortable by being uncomfortable. At lunch, Brandon texted, "Don't be upset. It's just content. Also, we need to discuss rooms. Our lease expires next month, and moving in with you would save us, like, $2,000. Win-win." I contacted him. Remove the video. I said, "It's already posted." He said, "You can't delete live. That's the point. It's authentic. You can unlist the replay." I said. Or apologize. Apologize for what? You're purchasing a luxury house while your family struggles. I struggled too, I said. He sighed like I was missing the point. You have main character attitude. Let us benefit. And Leia wants to meet with an interior designer tomorrow to discuss the primary. She's thinking terrazzo. No, I said.
He laughed.
Brother, you have to release control. I am releasing, I said. I'm releasing being your safety net. He hung up. That evening, my mom sent me a text.
Can we all sit down?
I think we need to establish expectations. Love you. She puts love you at the beginning when she thinks I'll get angry. I said yes. I selected a time. I printed 3 things. A cease and desist template you can send for a privacy violation. A simple 1-page guest agreement a lawyer friend had given me months ago, and a list of figures with the heading what I can manage without going under. When you have people who treat you like a credit card, you bring documents to conversations. Words float. Documents stop floating. The next day, the video doubled in views. Yayla posted a TikTok of samples. Caption: selecting vibes for our new primary. Mom commented, proud of you both. And then texted me, sorry, wrong account. I counted to 10. It almost worked. By the time we sat down, I was calm. Calm like a secured file. We met at Mom's apartment because she likes to feed tension. She made a casserole and put 6 spoons on the table like spoons are neutral. The television was on mute, an old habit from when arguments were background music. Brandon and Leia arrived 10 minutes late. Ring light in a bag. No filming, I said at the entrance. Hila pouted. You're killing the channel. Mom quieted her with bread. Let's talk, she said. She looked at me with that pleading face that used to turn me into a human mop. I sat on my hands so I wouldn't start mopping. I put the folder on the table. Ground rules, I said. Brief, clear. Brandon took the chair across from me and leaned back like interviews were enjoyable.
Shoot.
First, I said, remove the video with my budget. Stop referencing my house publicly. Don't say the address. Don't show documents. Don't show figures. He smirked. You can't control speech. First Amendment. I slid the cease and desist across. I can control use of private documents and identifiable financial information. I can also file privacy complaints. I don't want to do that. Don't make me do that. Mom winced. Leia rolled her eyes in a full circle. It's just engagement. She said second, I said. No one is moving into my house.
Not you.
Not your pet. Not your ring light. Not for a week. Not for a month. Not until I die. Not after I die. If you want to visit, cool.
Give me a date.
Stay for dinner. Leave by 10. Mom's mouth opened. But no, I said I love you.
No.
Brandon's grin got nasty. You think you're superior? He said quietly. You always have. I think I worked for what I have. I said, I think you think that makes me responsible for you. Lala put her phone down.
Be serious, she said.
It's practical. We'd save $2,000 a month. You won't even notice it. You're buying a luxury place. Don't be strange. Third, I said, ignoring the pitch. If you need housing help, we can discuss a short-term lease in a duplex. I know. Market rate, written lease, deposit, quiet hours, no filming, or you can cut your budget and get a studio. I'll help you make a spreadsheet. Brandon laughed in a way that made my shoulders itch. You're obsessed with documents, he said. You don't care about people. I kept my voice low. Documents are how I protect people from me so I don't resent them later, so I don't say yes and then bleed out in the bathroom, because I can't afford what I promised. He blinked for a second. Something like hearing moved behind his eyes. Hila popped it with you're so dramatic. Mom tried a different approach. What about me? She said small. Could I stay sometimes if I'm lonely? Yes, I said.
Call me.
We'll plan. You'll have a key. It's your own code. That's different. Brandon pointed. Favoritism. He said like he'd invented the word. No, I said boundaries based on history. You don't pay bills. You make content out of my life. You're not coming in. He went quiet. His jaw worked. The air thinned. He stood. You're making an enemy, he said. Of your own brother. I stood too. I'm making a line. I said between my life and your channel. Lala scoffed. Okay, dictator. She said, what else? Fourth, I said, sliding the 1-page guest agreement across the table to Mom only. Anyone who stays signs one of these. It says things like, 2 nights max and no recording devices. And if you break it, you fix it. It's not a trap. It's a map. Mom touched the document like it might bite. This is so official, she whispered. I am official, I said. With my life. Brandon knocked the folder with the back of his hand. The documents fanned. You're disgusting, he said. You act like we're strangers. You act like I'm a wallet, I said. He shoved his chair. It squealed. Everybody thinks you're generous, he said. They don't see you counting. I see you counting. I count because no one counted for me, I said. And because you count on me to not count. Yayla folded her arms. We'll make our own money, she snapped. We don't need your tiny little house. It's 2,400 square feet. I said because I'm me. She made a face.
Sad.
Brandon grabbed his bag. Don't call me when you need content, he said. We'll be fine. I never called, I said. He went to the entrance. He turned. You really think you're the hero? He said. You're just bitter because we figured out how to live. I think I'm tired, I said. And I'm done. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure.
He flinched at that.
He left. Leia followed, whispering. Let him be broke with his spreadsheets.
The door closed.
Sound rushed back. Mom sat very still. She stared at the guest agreement. I don't like this, she said. I know, I said. It makes me feel like I raised you wrong, she said, voice thin. I moved my chair closer. You raised me to survive, I said. Survival looks like this. She nodded without looking up.
He'll be mad, she said.
He already is, I said. She put the document down. Can I still bring candles?
She asked.
Ridiculous and perfect. Yes, I said. Please bring candles. The next morning I emailed Brandon. Brief, clear. Subject. No filming of my life plus removed budget video. Body, these are my boundaries. Attachments, a real cease and desist drafted by an actual lawyer. I paid for out of my family helpline item. A reminder that posting identifiable financial documents is a privacy violation and a list of community resources for housing assistance because I am not a monster. He replied with a middle finger emoji. I replied with nothing. I packed my dishes and the stupid label jar. I picked up my keys. I drove to my closing and signed my name so many times my hand cramped. The pen had a weight I liked. The escrow agent said, "Congratulations." And I said, "Thanks," and smiled in a quiet way that felt like standing in a doorway before stepping through. The first week in the new house was noise followed by unusual quiet. Movers in the driveway, plumbers, the builder doing a final walkthrough, pointing at details like it mattered. Then the door closed, and it was my house making house noises. Air conditioner humming, new wood crackling, ice dropping into the freezer like tiny avalanches. I slept on a mattress on the floor the first 2 nights. The island looked ridiculous, without stools. I ate takeout sitting on a paint bucket and texted Mom a photo. She sent hearts. She sent proud of you, kid. She sent a candle emoji. Brandon posted 2 more jabs. A short where he toured an IKEA bedroom set and titled it Designing Max's Primary for Free. And a Q&A where he answered would you move in any way with he can't stop family. The comments were exhausting. Some people loved him. Some people called him entitled. He loved both. I filed the privacy complaint. The platform took down the live replay within 48 hours. I didn't announce it. I didn't send him a screenshot. I let the silence do the talking. He called me 10 times in one day. I picked up on the 11th. You really think you can censor me? He snapped. I think I can protect my private information. I said, you're a snake. He said, Mom is crying. I saw her yesterday. I said, we ate soup. She has a key. Wow, he spat. So, I'm the villain, and she's your wife now. I'm hanging up. I said, I'll talk when you're not performing.
He was still talking when I did.
Ela posted a story of her throwing paint samples into a trash can. Caption, when family blocks your creativity, she tagged me. I used the block button and felt 20 pounds lighter. Mom visited on Sunday. She brought lasagna and a bag of random things she thinks belong in all houses. A first aid kit, duct tape, 3 tea towels with lemons on them. She walked through the rooms like she was in a museum where touching is allowed. It echoes, she said, clapping once, like she could test happiness with sound. It'll fill, I said. In the kitchen, she put the first tea towel on the oven handle, and I almost cried. Not because of a towel, because something soft could exist in a place I paid for without debt to anyone else's mood. We set up her code on the keypad. She practiced twice. She whispered, I'm not going to tell him. And I said, don't.
She didn't.
2 days later, Brandon showed up anyway. He banged on the door. He filmed himself banging on the door. The Ring camera caught him performing. He shouted, open up, landlord. Like a punchline. I didn't open. I texted. Not a good time. No filming. He posted the clip with clown music. I sent him one message. If you trespass again, I will call the police. He replied, do it. I did not. I did, however, send my lawyer a note. She drafted a formal letter. No contact without text confirmation. No showing up uninvited. No filming my property. She sent it certified. I paid the invoice and put it in the folder. Work stayed boring, blessedly. People asked about the house. I said, it's good. And showed a picture of the faucet, which is safe. My boss said, "You look less clenched." And I laughed because that's exactly the right word. At night, I built furniture with an Allen key like it was penance. I found a rhythm. Boxes, instructions, screw to. Laugh when I did it backward. Unscrew. Try again. No one asked me for money. No one told me I was selfish. I slept. One afternoon, Mom called and said, "He's saying he'll sue you for emotional rent." I said, "That's not a thing." She said he knows and sighed. She's learning to let his noise be his noise. On day 12, Brandon texted, "We can do at least short term. We'll be respectful. It'll be good content, JK. Mom promised you'd say yes." I typed and deleted 3 versions of no. I landed on "I wish you well. I am not your housing plan. If you need resources, ask." He sent wow. And then nothing else. My house got couches. My house got a rug. My house got a dent in the hallway where I misjudged a turn, and I didn't care because the dent meant a life was happening here. Sometimes, late I scroll. I see Brandon pivoting his channel.
He's doing pranks on himself now.
He bought a fog machine and set off his smoke alarm. People still watch. He'll be fine or he won't. That's not my rent to pay. If there's a moral, it's boring.
Count.
Write it down. Say it out loud. And let people be mad. The old me would have chased Brandon across the internet, arguing in comments, crafting a statement, apologizing for tone. The new me bought a broom, swept sawdust, and made pasta. The old me would have let family win as a word over actions. The new me picked actions. Here's what I won't do anymore. I won't let anyone call me petty for keeping receipts. I won't let anyone say chill out when what they mean is make yourself small so we can stand on you. I won't hand out keys to people who use rooms as sets. I won't apologize for a locked door in a house I pay for. Here's what I will do. I will keep a line item for Mom because love and history can share a budget. I will keep a guest agreement in the drawer next to the tea towels, not because I expect to use it every week, but because knowing it's there keeps me kind. I will tell the truth when asked. I will say no like a person who knows what he means. Brandon will have another season. Maybe he'll grow up. Maybe he'll grow followers. I don't get to schedule it. If he calls me without a camera and asks for help writing a plan, I'll help. If he shows up with a ring light, I'll close the door. Simple, not cruel, clean. When I stand in my kitchen in the morning and make coffee, I can hear a sound I didn't know I was missing. It's not silence. It's something like my own voice not arguing with me. It says, "Good job." Sometimes it says, "You did that." It says, "You can stop checking your phone." Mom still texts too many emojis. She still brings candles. She still slips and says, "we" when she means you. I correct her gently. She corrects herself. We're learning. On moving day, I found the old jar with the stupid label. I put it on a shelf in the pantry. It's empty now. I left the label on anyway, not as a joke, as a receipt. This isn't about revenge, I told Brandon. This is about closure. It still is. It's also about something bigger that's less dramatic and more useful. Being a grown man who understands that no is not a crack in love. It's the frame. If you're the max in your family, here's your permission slip. You don't owe anyone the primary bedroom in a house you haven't even slept in yet. You don't owe the internet your budget.
You don't owe content.
You can decide what goes where, and who goes where, and when they leave. You can be generous without being a doormat. I'm going to buy stools this weekend. Maybe I'll pick the expensive ones. Maybe I'll wait. Either way, I'm the one deciding. That's the luxury. Not the island. Not the square footage. This the choosing. The lock clicking at night. The clean line. The quiet that isn't empty. It turns out closure sounds like a code beeping green. It looks like a guest towel folded once. It feels like not bracing. No revenge, just closure. And a door that opens to people who knock without a camera.